Okay, so I don't really know what I'm going to say on this video. I'm just going to kind of ad lib and just sort of reflect a little bit, but I feel an obligation to everyone that watches this YouTube channel to give them a bit of an update. The thing is, when you're at the top of the pile, you don't have accountability. I'm not accountable to anyone except for myself and my family at the end of the day, and that's actually quite a hard thing. It's what I want to talk about today. It's why I'm making this video. But, for context, I'm the top of the pile. I've got my own successful digital marketing agency called My Online Guy, which I've been running now for 9.5 years. It's literally made me millions of dollars, and it supports the lifestyle that we have, which is traveling around Southeast Asia full time as a family. That is only possible because of the agency. We're here in Thailand. I'm doing Muay Thai for 2 months, 30 hours a week. You can't do that unless you have the resources and the funds to be able to do that. I'm also a coach at Easy Grow, right? And Charlie Morgan's, that's his program. You guys probably know who he is. And he entrusts me with his students. And for the last 2 years, I've been coaching thousands and thousands of students in Easy Grow to help them improve their service delivery. And I've also got my own programs. I've got my own programs. They're doing well. But again, that's part of why I'm on here today. Maybe I could be doing those better. But getting back to the original topic, I just wanted to give people some context of who I am, because it's been a long time since I've made a YouTube video. Hopefully that will change now that now that I've had this bit of a revelation. So accountability. I have found over the last year, I have really taken my foot off the pedal. Now, I've always prided myself as someone that is just pedal the metal, get the job done, work hard. And the last year, I've really taken my foot off the pedal. And the only thing I can put it down to is like a slow burnout. The problem is when you spin a lot of plates like I do, and you have a lot of complexity in your life like I do with the kids and multiple businesses and things like that, it can wear on you slowly. So most people know about fast burnout. And I've had that several times in my career, where you just don't feel like getting out of bed. You don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like running your agency. You don't feel like talking to that client. That's like a fast burnout. That's actually the easiest type of burnout to fix. Because if you have fast burnout, the way you fix it is to remove the stimulus for a while, recalibrate, recenter, and then get back into it. What I have been through over the last sort of 9 months to a year is a slow and painful burnout. And I've only come to that realization in the last week. So the difference between a fast burnout and a slow burnout, which is what I've been going through right now, is that a slow burnout, you're still getting up, you're still getting the work done, but you're just moving slightly slower. You're just getting slightly procrastinated. You're not fully procrastinating. You're not fully avoiding the pain and the problems. You're only slightly avoiding them. You're only doing slightly less work. You're only slightly more agitated. Everything is just slightly more. And that slight change accumulates over time and becomes a big effect. And I believe in being held accountable to my actions. And I've only just noticed this in the last couple of days. And that's why I'm on here today. So, some of the things that I've noticed that really put it into perspective is I spin a lot of plates, and I like to think that I spin these plates well, but in the last 2 months especially, I have not been spinning these plates well. I'm very fortunate to be in the position where a lot of people trust me and trust the knowledge and the information that I have. And because of that, they give me a lot of rope. The case in point is the guild. So I have this program called the Service Delivery Kings Group, a guild. And there's about 60 guys in there. It's deliberately small. And it's a small and intimate setting. Over the last couple of months, I've been slipping in that group. I've been communicating less. I've been procrastinating more. I've been avoiding answering people more and more. And because a lot of these guys explicitly trust me and I've provided them so much value in the past, they're kind of tolerating it. But they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be tolerating it. Same thing with my free group, my Service Delivery Kings, the free group. There's 1,500 people on there. And only till this morning, which you can see up here, I haven't been active in the group, and there's no real reason not to. For the first 6 months of that group, I was in there every day answering questions. And then one day I just stopped doing it and I never got back onto it until the other day, until I decided enough is enough. I'm not doing anything that well anymore. I need to get back on track and focus and recenter. And it was just disappointing because I tell a lot of people that I work with, whether it's coaching, consulting, whatever, that you need to be able to identify when you're not performing at your highest level and try work out why that is and take action on it quickly and effectively so that you can get back on track fast. The problem is, this is the first time I've ever experienced this real slow burnout over a long period of time. Now, the weird thing about it is that I don't feel like I don't feel like I need to take time off. So normally when you get burnt out and you have a fast burnout and it's really violent, I tell people, take some time off, get away from the stimulus. But I don't necessarily feel like that. It's not that feel like I need to step away from what I'm doing here. It's not the case in this, it's not the case here. I feel like it's more that I need to just focus on doing little bits of everything better. So that's my plan of attack. So I'm going to walk through all the different elements of my businesses, and I'm going to tell you the little things that I'm going to do, because like I said, when you're at the top of the pile, no one holds you accountable, and I want you guys to hold me accountable. A lot of you are in my guild, a lot of you are in my school group, so you'll be able to hold me accountable to this and go, hey Jimmy, you said you were going to do this and you never did. Because sometimes you need your feet to the fire to really take action. So with my school group, it's a free school group. It's called Service Delivery Kings. If you want to learn more about it, it's in the description. In that free school group, I've basically gone back to answering questions. Now, am I answering as many as I was before? No. I used to answer 15 to 20 a day. I'm going to aim to answer 5. I figured that's a good transition back to doing, at least providing value in that group. So my goal is to answer 5 questions a day in that group, and first in best dress. And then I also figured that I need to get a bit of excitement back for myself for that group. So I'm working on a little bit of a YouTube series that's going to come out of that group, which is called an SMMA turnaround. Basically, I'm going to interview SMMA owners and give them some advice and tips on how they can improve their business from an operation perspective. So I figure that just easing back into it with that group and giving myself some exciting things to do. I've got another exciting thing that I can't really talk about now, but you really need to be part of that group if you want to learn more about that. But having those little bits of easing back into the workload, and then also giving myself something to look forward to, being the YouTube videos, will give me the best chance of getting back on track out of this slow burnout back to full productivity. And I think I was reflecting on this, and I think the biggest mistake I can make right now is just going balls to the wall, trying to get it all back to the way it was. It will never be the way it was. That's what caused this slow burnout in the first place. So I need to, find a medium that can work long term. So that's what I'm doing there. Then with the guild, which is the paid group, I'm just going to be more present in that group. I think it's not necessarily about, being there and going back to the way it was. I'm now doing what's called an office hours in the group, which allows, so I found when I reflected and went, why am I not in this group more actively? It's overwhelming getting questions all times of the day, all hours of the night. So what we're going to implement in the guild is a office hours. So basically they will post their questions and I will answer those questions at a set time every day, just to give myself some clarity. And that way I don't have to look for the questions and things like that. That is the solution to what caused the slow burnout, which was go in there and there's 10 questions and they're all over the place and I got lost and it was overwhelming. The other thing that completely overwhelmed me with that group is that I'm making a Facebook ads course. And quite frankly, it's been completely overwhelming thinking about how do I compress 10 years of knowledge into a into a course that's concise and clear, can help people. And that crippled me. That, I think, was actually the cause of the slow burnout that I'm having. Now, I'm incredibly lucky that the people in the guild are very understanding, and a lot of them aren't just in there for the Facebook ads. They're in there to learn how to run their businesses better, run their agencies better. So I'm very lucky in that aspect. But I think it's really important to finish that off. And it might just come down to finishing it off and cutting a few corners just so I can get it out and get it done. So all the first part is done. It really comes down to like the fault finding and things like that. And I think what I'm going to do is just go over the shoulder and just make a campaign from scratch and on behalf of a business, and just fault find it as I go and just record all that part over the shoulder. And hopefully that gives people a really good insight to what to do. So that immediately removes a lot of the complexity of me making this program, because I don't have to think of all the scenarios. I can just cross those scenarios as I get to them. I'm fortunate to have, you know, a bit of a war chest. So if it costs me a few $1,000s in ad spend, that's not going to anyone, any client, that's perfectly fine as well. And then the third finger I have in a pie is Escape Society Academy, which is a program I just launched, which helps people that are like my age, who have commitments in life, start marketing agencies the right way. You know, I think there's a lot of programs out there that teach people how to sell digital marketing, but don't teach them how to run agencies properly. That's why the guild exists, and that's why this Escape Society Academy exists. Also, people that have commitments that can't go full time, maybe they want something that's part time. That's what that is until they can transition to full time. So in that program, it was consuming a disproportionate amount of time in the day to keep the sales side of that program going. The service delivery side is going fine. I do have to finish that program. It's not completely finished yet, but it's because I lost a heap of recordings and I have to re-record. So it's more just logistics. But with that program, I basically looked and reflected and went, where is the bottleneck? Why is it taking so long? And I've just gone and bit the bullet and hired someone to help me with the operation side of that. You know, because you got to, like, this is my theory on this slow burnout. And because this is the first time experience, all uncharted territory. You've got to like slowly transition back into full work. If I was to turn around and say, I know I'm burning out slowly, I know I haven't been doing a whole bunch of stuff, I'm just going to roll up my sleeves and get it done, it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't get done. And this YouTube video that I'm making today is an example of that. When was the last time I posted on this channel? When was the last time you seen me make a video? It was about 4 months ago when I announced that I was launching the Escape Society Academy, right? This video is a reflection of just easing back into it. I've got a heap of ideas for this YouTube channel. There's things that I want to implement. I want to implement those SMMA turnarounds. I'm going to be answering questions out of the school group and making videos on those questions with a tablet so I can elaborate. Heaps of things. I've got heaps of ideas. But if I was just to say I'm going to go and start to do that, and I'm going to make this video tomorrow, you know, I just wouldn't get it done. I've got to ease back into the production process of making videos. And I figured the best way to do that is just to talk to you guys and explain what's been happening, and maybe give you guys some tips and advice on what to do if you're in the same position as I'm in. Because I think there's a lot of people that are just burning out slowly. You know, like I said, I speak to thousands and thousands of agency owners over the years I've spoken to. And when they tell me that they're not getting stuff done, I always give them the advice of, as if they're burning out fast, you know, go and take a step back, go and take, you know, go and like reflect and come back swinging. But that may not be the best advice to give. If you feel like you're burning out slowly, like your productivity is just slowly going down over time. It's not like you're like want to step away from it or anything, you're ready to quit. It's more just like, I'm not where I was. You need to like sit down, look at all the points of stimulus and go, what can I do to just ease back into the level of productivity I had? What things am I not doing now that I used to that gives me the feeling that my productivity has dropped and I'm less productive? If you can do that, then there's a very good chance that over time, and this isn't an overnight thing, this is my theory, this is going to take me months to get over. It took months to get into this situation. It's going to take months to get back up to the swing of things. But the best time to start that process is yesterday. The second best time is today. So it's better to start that process if it's going to take months now than it is to worry and then go, oh, I'm going to worry about it tomorrow, or I should have done it and then you get into your own head about it. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. You know, I just want to share that because this is part of my process for easing back into it. So if no one watches this, so be it. If you do watch it, leave a comment. Let me know if you've suffered from this slow burnout. I'm just curious to know if there's other people out there that have. And yeah, you should be seeing more videos from me. I'm not going to make any promises, but you should be seeing more videos from me. They may not be weekly, they might be fortnightly, might whatever, but I will be showing up and I will be getting back into the swing of it. Because, you know, what's the most frustrating for me, and I don't know what it's like for other people, but for me, is that I'm in the position to make 3 videos a day. I'm in the position to answer the questions in the guild. Like, I've got lots of time. And in the school group, I've got heaps of time. I just find that I procrastinate so badly at the moment that the time disappears. And that's not only disrespectful to the people that have no time and are hustling and grinding, that watch this channel and take the time to ask questions in the group, but it's also just disappointing for me because I've never been like that. This is the first time in my working career where I've really had a slow decline. And it might be the age I am, it might be the time of life I'm in, it might be the fact that I've got doing 30 hours of Muay Thai a week as a distraction. But, you know, sometimes you need pressure to create diamonds. And me just holding myself accountable to you guys I feel is the pressure I need to get back on track and get back to full production and make 2025, the back end of 2025, the biggest year I've ever had, which is the goal. So guys, no promises. Hopefully my next video will be out next week, but no promises. And hopefully you found this video helpful. I don't know if it will be or not. Expect to see more of these kinds of videos where I'm just reflecting and talking, because if I really am easing back into this, there'll be days where making a question and answer video will be too much. And I just want to be able to show up and know that you guys are still getting value from this content, even if it's just me talking about my thoughts. So cliff notes are, if you feel like you're just slowly declining in your productivity and things like that, it might be worth just reflecting on what you got to do and slowly ramping back up, which is what I'm doing. Come up with a plan and try and get excited about that plan. I think the biggest thing about it is, like, I'm excited to get in here and have a plan for the YouTube channel and a bit of direction. And I'm excited, you know, to be getting back and getting the feedback and answering the questions and getting it all back on track. It feels like a weight's been lifted on my shoulder, especially with the Facebook ads course, because I only came to that realization last week. I had a bit of a breakdown in this Service Delivery Kings Guild group. Had a bit of a breakdown saying this Facebook ads course is kicking my ass. I can't really get it together, so I'm just going to simplify it. And everyone was really supportive. So it's never as bad as you think it was going to be, because I thought a whole bunch of people would leave, and they didn't. It's a testament to the type of people in that program. They're very supportive, but again, they're very tolerant too. Most people would have been like, you haven't provided enough value, I'm going. So yeah, hopefully that you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.